Story time about a pick-me girl who literally tried to ruin someone's life because she was jealous of her. This girl, Lena, emailed me and she was like, I love your roommate stories. I have one for you, but it actually wasn't my roommate. It was his girlfriend. Lena was renting 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom apartment with a guy named Ryan. And before Lena moved in, Ryan was actually her older brother's roommate. But her older brother needed to move out of the city, like move somewhere else, and she needed a place. So she just moved in because she knew Ryan through her brother. They got along really well, but it was always platonic. Lena actually had a boyfriend, but they would like cook food together, watch movies together, just hang out together, just normal roommate stuff. Ryan starts bringing this girl named Tara around. At first, Tara's normal. She's hanging out, like they're all at the apartment with Lena, Lena's boyfriend, Ryan, and then her. She said the only semi-obnoxious thing about Tara was that she was very clearly, from the start, a pick-me girl. Like, Lena would tell a story and then Tara would have to one-up her. She was a one-upper. For example, Lena was talking about one instance where like she was trying to switch all the household products to non-toxic products. So she switched like Miss Myers from whatever they were using, Dove or whatever. And then Tara was like, well, actually you should use Aesop because Aesop is the best non-toxic brand. Or like they would all be going out on a weekend and Lena would do her makeup and feel really good about herself, and then she would come out in the kitchen and Tara would like fix her makeup or just be like, you shouldn't do your makeup like that, like it doesn't compliment your face. She would always say this stuff in front of the guys. Lena tolerated it because it's her roommate's girlfriend. She's trying to keep the peace. They all get along other than that. A couple months go by. Ryan and Tara are getting more serious. Lena sees more of her around the apartment. One morning she wakes up and they're already gone for the day, but she notices like all of her coffee mugs. She said she had like a few that she always used and they were all broken in the kitchen sink. So she's like, what is this? So she texts Ryan. She's like, hey, did you break my coffee mugs? And he just texts her back like a question mark. So she lets it go. And then later on when they get back, she brings it up again. And Tara's like, oh yeah, I broke them this morning when I was like washing the dishes. Lena's like, that's annoying, whatever. But she lets it go. She thinks it's an accident. Sometime after that, there's one night, Lena gets home from work. She gets back to the apartment. She has a bunch of packages that she brings up. She said she ordered a bunch of like high-end activewear. She takes the tags off. She throws it in the wash. She starts making dinner. She's vibing, listening to music, having a good time, and she hears like the water running in the bathroom. So she's like, that's weird. Ryan's normally not home. So she goes out in the living room and she sees Tara coming out of the bathroom. And she's like, oh, I didn't know you were here. And Tara's like, yeah, like I'm just, Ryan, gave me a key. Like I'm just waiting for him. So Lena's like a little bit annoyed because she knew Tara pretty well at this point. Like it had been a few months since they started dating, but she also didn't appreciate Ryan not letting her know that Tara was going to be at the house without him. She makes a mental note to talk to him about that. And then she tells Lena, like, I didn't know you were here. Like, I'll make you dinner too. She throws her new clothes in the dryer and she takes her dog out for a short walk while dinner's cooking. She gets back, Ryan gets home, they all eat together, and then she goes to bed. She forgets about the clothes in the dryer. She wakes up in the morning, she's going to go to the gym. She goes to the dryer to get her clothes and they're not there. Ryan's bedroom is still closed, so he's asleep. So she doesn't want to wake him up. So she's just like, he must have grabbed my stuff on accident and put it in his hamper. So she goes to the gym and like leaves it alone. When she gets back, he's not in the apartment. So she texts him. She's like, hey, did you see my clothes? And he's like, no. She's like, okay, men are effing dumb. So she goes in his room, looks through his hamper. Her clothes are not there. She's like pretty annoyed at this point. So she texts Ryan again. She's like, hey, can you give me Tara's number? I think she might have grabbed my clothes. Like, did she do laundry at the house last night? And he's like, I don't think so. No, but he gives her Tara's number. So Lena texts Tara. She's like, hey, it's Lena. Did you by chance grab my clothes out of the dryer last night? Tara texts back, and Lena actually included the screenshots of these texts from Tara, but the text from Tara said, why would I touch your disgusting gym clothes? So Lena thinks, okay, rude. And then she texts Tara back and she's like, if you didn't touch them, how did you know they were gym clothes? So Tara's like dismissive. She responds basically telling Lena that she thinks that she has ADHD and she should go talk to a medical professional. She's like, you're really unorganized. Like maybe if you just had your life together a little bit more, you would know where your stuff went. And then she was like, don't accuse me. And then she didn't come over to the apartment for a few weeks. So Lena's obviously really annoyed, really PO'd. And so when Ryan gets home and she gets him alone, she's like, hey, I think we should talk about Tara coming over to the apartment. Like she was really rude to me in text today. Shows him the text. He's like, oh my God, like that doesn't seem like her at all. And Lena's just like, yeah, like I would just appreciate it if she's here, she's with you. Ryan's like very understanding. He's like, of course, like I'll talk to her. Lena's like, cool, problem solved. Of course it's not. Of course it's not. One night, Ryan's over at Tara's house, so Lena's home alone. She gets a text from Tara, and the text says, if you want to talk bad about me, you can do it to my face. You don't have to go behind my back and talk to, in capitals, my boyfriend. So Lena's like, okay, she's clearly mad at me because I was mad at her for stealing my clothes. So she just is like, I'm not even going to engage. I'm not responding to her. When Ryan's home, she shows him the text. She's like, what is this? And he's just like, I don't want to get involved. You're my roommate. She's my girlfriend. I don't have any issues with either of you independent of each other. So just like, keep me out of it. Lena's just like, okay, well, Tara makes me uncomfortable. Like, I don't want her over here. And he gets a little bit mad. He's like, we pay the same rent. Like, you can't tell me that I can't have my girlfriend over here if I want to. If I'm here with her, I don't see the issue. Lena starts spending more time at her boyfriend's place so that she doesn't have to encounter Tara. And the stress of the situation is like really taking its toll on Lena. She's like showering. She notices clumps of her hair coming out. She has like a persistent stomach issue, just not feeling herself. Things are a little bit tense, and she notices Ryan starts like pulling away from her. Like they don't ever hang out anymore. He's always at Tara's house, or like she's always at her boyfriend's, but they never do anything as roommates anymore. One day, Ryan tells her that Tara's going out of town to visit her family. So she's like, this is a perfect opportunity for like us to bond. Like, why don't we just like go grab some food, grab some drinks, and then we'll just like come home and hang out. And he's like, cool. She texts him that day when she's at work. She's like, hey, are we still on for tonight? He's like, yeah. So she gets home before him. She's getting ready to go out. And she gets a text from Ryan, who's still at work. And he's like, I don't think we should hang out anymore tonight. And she's just like, okay, why? He was like, we need to talk about the message you sent me. So she calls him because she doesn't know what he's talking about. And he ignores her call. And he just texts her back. And he's like, we'll talk later. She makes other plans with other friends, goes out, comes home, Ryan's there. She's like, what were you talking about earlier? And he's just like, we need to talk about the message that you sent me. Like, I don't think it's appropriate if we live together when you feel the way that you do. And she's like, what are you talking about? And so he pulls out his phone. He shows her a message that was sent from her Insta account. And it was in response to one of his stories. It was like a gym selfie. And the message from Lena's account says, come home so I can get those clothes off you. So she's like, what the, like, I didn't send that. And Ryan's just like, come on, Lena, like, we're both adults. Like, if you feel that way, like, you can tell me, but it's still not appropriate. She's like, I have a boyfriend. Like, why would I send that to you? And he was just like, I don't know. Like, he's like, Tara has told me that she thinks that you're in love with me. He's like, I did my best to ignore it until you sent me that message. And like, now it's just like too uncomfortable. She's like, I didn't send that. And he's like, it's literally from your account. Like, yes, you did. So she's annoyed. She goes to her boyfriend's house that night. She gets over there. She tells her boyfriend everything that's going on. And he's like weirded out by it. He's like, why would you send him that message? She's like, I didn't send him that message. He's like, I didn't want to bring this up because I didn't think there was anything to it. But now after seeing this message, like a few weeks ago, Tara pulled me aside when we were all out at the bar. And she told me that she thinks that you and Ryan are sleeping together. So that night she sends Ryan this like long, heartfelt text message. She's like, I just want you to know this has always been platonic for me. I don't have any feelings for you. I don't know what happened with my account, but that was not me. Like, please, can we talk about this? Like, we've had a good roommate situation, whatever. He responds. He's really nice. He's like, yeah, I've enjoyed living with you too. Like, I didn't think so. Like, we'll figure this out. She feels better. She goes to sleep. The next night she gets back to her apartment and she always like lets her dog out. Ryan takes care of her dog when she's not there, but she can't find her dog. She texts Ryan. She's frantic. She's like, hey, have you seen Ollie? He texts back immediately. He's like, no, I thought you brought him to Steve's house with you. She's freaking out. She's going to all the apartments next door on her floor trying to figure out where her dog went. She finally texts Tara and she's like, do you have my dog? Tara has her read receipts on. She opens the text, reads it, leaves her on read. She's blowing up Ryan's phone. She's like, I need Tara's address. Like, she has my dog. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, just give me her address. Like, I need to go over there. I need to get my dog. He's like, I'm going over there later. I promise you she does not have your dog. But then later that night, she still can't find him. And Ryan texts her as he's at Tara's house and he says, Ollie's here. He's safe. She starts blowing up his phone again. Tara answers his phone. She's like, hey, she's like, stop calling my boyfriend. Like, I already know that you're in love with him. She's like, also, you're a terrible dog owner. Like, Ryan's always taking care of him, so he's better off at my house anyway. There's a whole back and forth, but ultimately Tara has convinced Ryan that Lena said that she could have the dog. And he takes Tara's side. He's like, honestly, I am really always taking care of him. Like, maybe he is really better over here. You're always at Steve's house. Lena gets her boyfriend involved. He's calling them. Ultimately, they get the dog back only when she threatens to go to the police. Obviously, this does it. Her and Ryan decide that they're not going to live together anymore. They pay a bunch of money and break the lease. Lena moves out. She gets her own place. And she said that the weirdest thing is that after she moved into her own place, her hair stopped falling out and she started feeling better. And now she wonders if she was actually putting Nair or something in her food and drinks. Lena's email was also very long, and she actually said that Ryan and Tara ended up breaking up, and now Tara is dating Steve, the guy that she was dating through this whole story. If you want story time on that, I can definitely make a second part to this, but I wanted to give you all the really bad details of when she was living with Ryan. Lena said I could use her real name, and she said that Tara's name is also real because F her, she doesn't care. She ended her email by saying, be wary of pick-me girls, and if they seem awful, they probably are. What do you think? Was Tara actually a pick-me girl, or was Lena really secretly in love with Ryan the whole time? Keep sending me your weird, spooky, creepy, psychotic roommate stories, and I'll keep adding them to this playlist.